I'm going to be real with you right now. I'm on about 3 to 4 hours of sleep between the leaks and the timing of everything. I'm going to be recording a bunch of videos today with no sleep whatsoever, so there's probably going to be a ton of mistakes. Maybe I'll say a lot of things I regret. I'm kind of out of my mind. I'm running on caffeine only right now, but let's get into it. We're going to do a giveaway on all the videos today. Like, subscribe, comment, $100 giveaway. The winner gets pinned in the top comments, so make sure you check that out. All right, TCG Forbidden Limited List Update. We're going to do that right now, and the rest of the leaks will be in other videos today. So, TCG, why should you care if you don't play paper? Because this is some insight into the future of what could happen with Master Duel. Yes? Now, the context of the TCG Forbidden Limited list, we should see what's good, what's doing well. So a recent YCS, you tell me, what's your definition of tier 0? Is this tier 0? What does this look like? I don't know. I'm not very good with the eyes. I guess this would be 75% if it cut right here. So about 60% of the top cut being a single... Oh, it's right there. See? I'm tired. 65%. That seems like tier 0 to me, so probably this deck will get smashed. Want anything else here, though? I don't know. And this was how long ago? A few weeks ago. A month ago, actually. And back in October, that same deck, Tearlaments Ishizu, dominated my $3,000 tournament I hosted. So before anyone's going, oh, DK, you don't know what the heck's going on, I casted a tournament. You could check it out. We perfectly casted top players of the game. Even, I think our second place of this tournament went to win a YCS. Look at that, Hani. He wins a YCS right after the tournament, so that was great. Now, the other context you need to know is that Konami released a new deck type that literally has cash in its name. Cash Money Tira. $600 to $700 core. This is not even playable until, I think, 4 days in the TCG. So, you know, I would say it'd be ignorant to think that Banlist, and, you know, rightfully so, it's their product. They want to make money. It could be used to help push a new product that's coming out, possibly. This deck type, a very cool deck type, was touted to be the Ishizu Tearlaments Killer. But in the OCG, that didn't really happen. And in the OCG, they even had to restrict this deck type because what happened was they released this to beat tier 0, but then tier 0 started playing this in their deck. They combined with tier 0. They were supposed to fight the dark side, not join it. And now, what's going to happen with TCG now that this is released? Let's see. Let's just go right into this. Boom. All right. All right. Yugi Meta soon. Copium. Newly unlimited. Let's go. Destrudo. The Lost Dragon Frizzen. This card is now going to be unlimited in all 3 formats. Okay. So this was a very cool card. I think it probably had a better identity before Hulk, but it would help you summon Hulk very easily. You could Foolish Burial this card, and then it could summon itself onto the field very easily by targeting any of your monsters who are level 6 or lower level, and then this summons. And besides making a card like Hulk, it could help make a card like Ancient Fairy Dragon or a level 7 Synchro. But I think more popularly, recently, it's been being used to summon Curious. And I actually plan on using, look at that, Ban and TCG. That's when you know your cards are good. The Destrudo is going to be a dark dragon, easily summonable on the field, and I will be playing Curious with it because it helps summon it. It's 3 monsters, same attributes, so 2 other darks with different types, and that will help enable it. Okay. Jet Synchron. Speaking of Crystron Hulk, the tuners, some people thought the tuners were the problem, not Crystron Hulk. So, and at least Konami thought that. So what happened was they started banning and restricting all the tuners that were used with Crystron Hulk, the very easily summoned Link that was apparently created back when Yu-Gi-Oh! Was completely broken. There was Master Rule 4, and you were restricted on your synchros and exceeds of being able to summon. You had to summon them in the extra monster zone just like a Pendulum or a Link. and then they had to do away with that ruling. But because of that, they had to create links like this that were really generic, and which would help enable you to actually use your extra deck. And then this, you know, obviously got banned in all 3 formats, and this helped that card out be nuts. Let's go more. Again, Crystal and Hulk, we're just going back to our past sins and correcting them. All these cards were hit, banned, limited, restricted because of one card. Oh boy. Oh boy. Let's keep on going. Servant of Endymion. Yeah, finally it is unrestricted in all 3 decks. Very cool. If you want to be an Endymion Chad, like the Master Duel players, here's a sample deck list on how it's played. But how restricted is TCG from even playing a deck like this? Your Electromite's still banned. Your Upstart Goblin is limited to 1. Your Into the Void's limited to 1. Your Chicken Game is banned. Chicken Game banned. And what else is restricted here? I think that's probably it. Yeah, everything else. Okay, limited to 1, that's fine. And then here would be like a sample deck list of what it could look like. I don't know how close you are to building something like this, but you could try now. All right, cool. Let's go back to the rest of the limits. True King. What the heck? True King Lithosajim. That's exactly how you say it. This is a card that looks at your opponent's extra deck and banishes 3 cards from it. And it's quite easily summonable, but you know, no one's really summoning this out of maybe like a YouTube video. Let's see, is Master Duel even using this? I think Konami is just, they're doing spring cleaning here, huh? None of these are really high impact on limits, and that's the reason why not just unlimit them? True King Sword Soul, I didn't even know this existed. Are you kidding me? What the heck am I even looking at? Could tech this into Dinosaur? So, all right, cool. It's back. Have fun with that. Let's keep on going. Yata. Banned in Master Duel still. What the heck? Semi-limited in Japan. So TCG's like, this card's doing nothing in Japan. No one cares. And I'm going to do, I didn't know this was a hot take, but yeah, I don't think Yata really did much wrong. It was and as you can see, even with Unlimited, it's not going to do anything. I know we're in modern Yu-Gi-Oh! And people are going to freak out. Dkayed said Yata did nothing wrong. Listen how old I am, okay? I'm in my 30s. I actually played when Yata was legal. And the problem cards were not Yata. It was Delinquent freaking Duo. Pay 1,000, you discard 2 cards from your opponent. And then it was Confiscation. Look at your opponent's hand, discard a card, and then you comboed it with Forceful Sentry. There we go. So you would combo up cards like this, and even, oh, my boy, Don Zalug. Where's the Zalug at? Here we go. I did too many filters. Don Zalug. Yes, with the guns, not the swords. Look at them biceps. This would discard cards from your opponent's hand, and you would get out with Mystic Tomato. And then after you got your opponent down to pretty much no cards in their hand, then you'd whip out the Yata. And, you know, it wasn't like you summon Yata early and win. You couldn't do that. But it makes it so you can't draw on any additional cards. Enough rambling. Okay, moving on. Spiral Resort. Okay. I mean, let's be real. Endymion, Chad deck. Spiral, Chad deck. Konami TCG has limited the Chad decks for too long. And I know they've been taking a peek at my tournaments and seeing how well they're doing sometimes in my events. The chat goes nuts, I go nuts, the players are going nuts. So why not unrestrict the Chad decks? If we look at a Spiral deck, how close is TCG to even being able to build something like this? We have a sample deck here. Let's look at this sample deck. Quick Fix still limited to 1 in TCG. The other restriction would be Master... Oh, geez, banned. Okay. So what is Resort going to 3 do if you have Master Plan banned? Maybe they just want to see your reaction. Like, whoa, very cool. Now you could unban Master Plan, please. Because we have it here. But here's the thing, here's what we don't have, and I know that you have. You know that I know that you have Illusion of Chaos, which will break this deck. Absolutely broken. This will be nuts. Illusion of Chaos will make the Magician's Souls much more consistent, which gets the banned Master Plan in the graveyard, and then they pop off. So I'm actually afraid of Illusion of Chaos coming to Master Duel. So that's pretty cool. Okay, let's move on to the other leaks. I said leaks in my head. Agito! Oh boy. Agito. Oh, I'm spoiling myself. Copying Japan, limited to 1. So Agito. The Ishizu cards. A lot of people are confused about the Tearlament being top tier, best deck ever, but it's because of Ishizu. I'll tell you this: Spright and Tearlament came out together. I believe Spright was better than Tearlament. Then Ishizu, and it's arguable. They could be similar, or it's similar power. Then Ishizu came out and then made Tearlament tier freaking 0. And this is what the Ishizu card is. That's what we're talking about. This is the problem. One of the problem. There's 4 of them. I like to think of them as there's 2 machines and 2 humanoids. The machines, when sent from the hand or deck to the graveyard, you mill the top 5 cards of each player's deck, and then it triggers all the Tearlaments to get fusion summoning. We should zoom in even more so you could read this better. There we go. And you see the highlights here. You could turn that on in your settings. It's not a pro feature or anything. It'll highlight the condition and the activation and all that good stuff. So, okay, very good. Lots of milling. This is what enabled you to have what's called a turn 0 win. Turn 0 kill. Turn 1 kill would be first turn kills, you actually go first. Turn 0 kill is your opponent goes first, and you're playing on their turn. So you would have a Tearlament that would trigger this by milling it, and then you'd be milling a ton. Let's move on. Kelbeck. So these are the machines. Both of these are the millers. There's 2 millers and 2 shufflers. The machines mill 5 from each player's deck, and the shufflers are going to be shuffling. We'll talk about them in a bit if they're even on here. Now, Japan kept this at 3 and limited only Agito. And the problem with that is, in Japan, this deck's still the best deck. So Konami really messed up with Tearlament and Ishizu. And TCG Konami is looking at the Japanese results, and they're going, yeah, what you did was not enough. We're going to take it one step further and limit this one also so that we could stop having people play on turn 0. And to be honest, I've been playing on the TCG simulators, and if I play against an Ishizu deck, it's not that the deck is so freaking good I don't want to play it. I don't want to play against it because I don't want them playing on my turn on the very first turn. I'm just like, I'm out. Get away from me. Whoa, the humanoid, the shuffler. Okay, limited to 1 in Japan also. It's just crazy to see how massively hit these cards are before they come to Master Duel. And what you should know is that the adventure cards were pre-restricted. They semi-limited Water Enchantress and the Rite of Erismir before it came to Master Duel. This tells me that it's probably going to be limited in Master Duel before it comes. So similar to the millers, this one's going to be, instead in the graveyard, quick effect, target 3 cards from either player's graveyard. Any card. This kills Runic at least, but at the cost of making tier 0. So what the Runic field spell would target your 3 Runic cards in the graveyard to shuffle them back in the deck to then draw 3. With Keldo and the other one, it will target the 3 Runic cards and return them back in the deck for you, thus you draw nothing. And then, this would also, it's like a DD Crow also. It could stop effects and return your own cards back in your own deck. Again, I want to remind you, I'm very, very tired. All right, let's keep on going down. Mudora. Wait, what? They limited every single one to 1? Japan did 1 and then left this alone. Japan did 1, then I think they left this alone also. Wow. All 4 Ishizu cards. This right here. This is what made Ishizu tier 0. These 4 cards. The millers and the shufflers. Same thing as Keldo. This will quick effect from the graveyard. Shuffle 3 cards. Any cards. Monster Spell Trap from either player's graveyard. Back in the deck. Use it as disruption. Use it as, recycling your cards. That's nuts. Okay. Wow. Everything limited to 1. I think that these will probably come to Master Duel all semi-limited at least, maybe. Okay, let's keep on going. Or they might just limit it to 1 on release. Let's keep on going. Havnis. This is the card that makes you play on turn 0. If your opponent activates a monster effect, they regret their life because you're going to special summon this, mill 3, you're going to mill a Keldo, you're going to mill a Kelbeck, they're going to mill 5, then they're going to fusion summon, they're going to have disruption, and they're going to mess up your graveyard with Keldo and Mudora. You're going to mill your combo pieces, and your whole deck's ruined, your whole life's ruined, and you don't want to play Yu-Gi-Oh anymore. So, okay, semi-limited in Japan, limited to 1 in TCG though. Interesting, okay. Another card that, besides Havnis, that helped them play on your first turn, aka turn 0, was the Herald of Orange Light. So you should expect this card, as it's limited in TCG and OCG, this will probably be limited in Master Duel soon. So when they preemptively limit this card, we know that the Ishizu cards are coming. All right? Merly. Wow, they're going in. Look at this, semi-limited, limited, TCG has had enough of Tearlament. They have, I think OCG has hit Tearlament maybe 3 times now, 3 to 4 freaking times, and it's still the best deck. TCG Konami is not playing around. Everything's going to 1. Okay, Merly is a good combo with the fusion to mill an additional 3. And all the Tearlaments, if sent to the graveyard by card effect, they perform a fusion summon. Let's keep on going. What? All 3 girls. The 3 girls are all limited to 1. Wow. Sharon. What's interesting about Sharon is because a Ishizu Tearlament is so damn good, we never have been able to explore using this in another deck. And just think about this. Your deck likes to mill. Maybe you have a rank 4 Exceed. Maybe you like dark monsters. Well, Sharon is all that. During your main phase, you could special summon this by discarding, I should say send a monster from your hand to the graveyard. There's no Tearlament restriction here. And then you mill 3. So you mill 3, it's a special summon, level 4, doesn't take up your normal summon. And then if you want, you could trigger her effect in some way. Let's say you can make a Time Thief Redoer with your rank 4 Exceed. And then you're going to be able to use her in any deck. Redoer. I'm not good at spelling. There we go. This detaches as an effect, not a cost. And then that'll trigger her fusion. You can put that in any deck. Very cool. Okay. Now limited to 1. The problem is, why put her in another deck when you could just play Tearlament? Ancient Fairy Dragon. Well, I did leak, and if you've been trying to keep up with the news, my leaks have been confirmed true despite many, many people saying I'm just lying for clout or something. I don't know what the heck they're saying. This is now usable only because of the errata, but what you're reading right now is not the errata because they did not we don't have the official errata on the site yet. Should we just do it? Should we just push it? Because that's what's going to happen. It's going to make both effects hard once per turn of being able to search the field spell. And not only is the field spell search, when you destroy it, hard once per turn, it has to be a field spell with a different name. So you can't pop the same field spell. And what really, I guess, breaks it, or it was broken, or a cool combo would be the Spiral Resort. As we were just seeing, you pop Spiral Resort, search another Spiral Resort, and it's activatable more than once per turn. So very cool. It hasn't been doing anything in Japan, though, yet. And I guess that's why it's okay. All right. Oh, do we have the errata here? Will be erratable. Errata. Okay, yeah, we'll have it's errata. All right. Forbidden. Artifact Scythe. You tell me. I don't think this has been doing anything in TCG recently, only because the whole meta has been oppressed by Tearlament Ishizu. So this shows some good foresight from Konami that once we restrict the most popular toy, people will go back to the old toy, which is Scythe. Any way you could summon this from you on your opponent's turn, it's going to lock them out of the extra deck. It's toxic. I'm not happy about this card existing even in Master Duel, even though it's really not doing much right now. But still, why let it exist? I'm sorry, Fluffle. You already lost Totally Awesome, but you shouldn't have Scythe either. Just, if you need this, then you don't deserve it at all. Get out of here. I think you should get more support, though. That'd be cool. Let's go back to the restrictions. So, goodbye, Floodgate. Very cool. Only TCG is not cool with this Floodgate. Oh, boy. Barrier Statue. Wow. Banned in all 3 formats. Now, my take on Master Duel, this being banned, was that's great. I'm so happy that it's banned. It deserved to be banned. My take for TCGs may be a little bit different because, you correct me if I'm wrong here, Floowandereeze, which this is played in that, was a new player, cheap, friendly deck to get into the TCG. Could I build a Floowandereeze deck for like 10 bucks, clap some fools at the locals, and Barrier Statue would be a main reason for that? Is that a good reason for this to exist, though? I've always said that floodgates help little Timmies beat good players, which makes the game more accessible, at the cost of making the game maybe a little bit worse. But, you know, no one wants to play a dead game, and you need little Timmies to have a chance for your game to not be dead. So I don't know, what do you think about that take? All right, very good. Toxic Floodgate, hate this card. What? They're banning it just like OCG? I thought Japan was a bit drastic with this, but TCG agrees. This is so wild. A named card, a deck type card being banned this early. That is insane. I think I'm gonna have the similar take of Sharon earlier, that you could tech this into pretty much any deck. So what you would be able to do is, if you have Instant Fusion gives you access to this, and why would you want this in any deck? Think about this. Does Konami hate generic mills? Yeah, Grass That's Greener is banned in TCG, and this is generic mill 8. It doesn't look like it because you might be distracted by her thighs, but she, on summon, will search the Merly. There, oh, I found her. There she is. She'll search Merly, and then she'll send herself to the graveyard to special summon Merly, and Merly's gonna mill 3. She's gonna mill 5. That's mill 8 off an Instant Fusion. And then obviously in the Tearlament deck type itself, mill 8 is nuts. And besides her pretty much being a generic mill 8, she also is a lot more versatile. She could trigger a fusion summon during the opponent's turn by sending the Tearlament to the graveyard instead of adding it to the hand. She could also, you know, just set up plays and combos besides the mill 8, just searching for a Tearlament trap to negate your opponent's monster. Maybe you already have the Merly, or you just want to have the negate. This is crazy. What does this mean for Master Duel? Maybe you would think, oh, Dkayed, they're going to limit her to 1 in Master Duel on release. That's not going to do anything. What if they just give us Tearlament without Kitkallos and they don't even ban her? That would be so crazy. This really makes me think, I mean, come on. Does this objectively look like Konami saying, listen, we screwed up? I feel like if you ban a deck type card like this, that is a full admittance that they have screwed the hell up. And I don't know how you feel about erratas. I guess we don't want Yu-Gi-Oh! To be full of errata. They'd rather just ban the freaking card. That's crazy. Wow. What's even funnier about that is there's a card that requires her. Tearlaments Kitkallos plus a Tearlament monster. So you need her to make her. So this card design is based off of her existing, but she's banned. So now you're gonna have to use a fusion substitute like King of the Swamp, which Japan is doing. Very interesting. All right, wow. Elf? Spright Elf. Banned. Okay, I'm gonna tell you why this is banned, because you know, you might be thinking like, what the heck? The Ishizu Tearlament's the problem, not the Sprite. Ishizu Tearlament's using Spright Elf. Can you freaking believe that? They screwed up on the Elf. The Elf probably should have said require a Sprite to make it, but instead it's just, if you have at least one level 2, rank 2, or link 2 monster, you can make the Elf. So people were making the Dark and then stealing a monster from the opponent's graveyard, then going into Elf, or just a level 2 monster. Let's see, the top deck list, okay, their deck list not available yet. Top 4 Isaac, Spright Elf right here. So what you would do in this deck is the Spright Elf, very easily made with the Merly, and then the Spright Elf can activate on your turn and your opponent's turn to summon the Merly onto the field to trigger effect to mill 3. So mill 3 on your opponent's turn. Also, Diviner. If this card is special summoned or normaled, so you special summon it off of the Mad Lad of the Spright Elf, and then you get the effect to send an extra deck monster or send one of the Ishizu cards. So that's nuts. Absolutely nuts. And Spright Elf also made a new strategy similar to the Artifact Scythe become a lot more viable. And that strategy, I promise you, I mean, this is going to be a hot promise. Ibli is going to become popular at least early on release of the Spright Elf. The Spright Elf is going to enable the Ibli to be incredibly toxic. And why I call this similar to the Artifact Scythe is you're going to floodgate your opponent. So you're going to use the Ibli to make a Spright Elf plus another monster to make the Elf. And this will be a main strategy of the Spright deck. I'll be using this. And this is even searchable with the gigantic Spright to summon this from the deck. So you better be paying attention to this combo. You give your opponent the Ibli, and then your opponent, let's say, deals with the Ibli. Tribute summons or links off with it. Spright Elf will resummon the Ibli that you dealt with. And then with the Masquerena, I'm going to link off with the Ibli that you dealt with and then give it back to you. And she special summons in defense. So main phase 2, after you battled with me, I'll just give it right back to you, and then you're locked out of special summoning again, and then you're screwed. So, and I've been doing it on the simulators a lot. Even with the Bestial, when Bestials come out, this will be less prevalent because you could then banish her like a DD Crow and then stop this ability. But before the Bestials come out, I think this is going to be really, really nasty. And there you go. A very long banlist video. Hopefully y'all don't mind that we do this. I don't know if you want me to be rushing this, make it something like that. Let's check out some of the reactions. I'm sure there's some stuff maybe I missed. Comments. Okay, they nuked it hard. Yeah, that was my take. Tear deserved it. Rip Bozo to barrier statue too. Sorry, little Timmy and his barrier statue. What's little Timmy gonna play now? You tell me. If I have a little 10-year-old brother, what's gonna be their deck now if they can't play Flow Under Ease? Actually, banning Scythe is great. Yeah, okay. Even though Scythe's not doing too much right now, but, you know, could always be a problem. I think that Scythe might become more popular with Tearlament coming out in Master Duel because we're going to be able to have good ways to reborn it. I was thinking the Virtual World deck right now is good for using Artifact Scythe to reborn it from the graveyard. Based banlist, people like this. Wow, 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 wow. Tear got executed. Limit 1 festival. Everything got limited. Oh boy. They just shotgun Tear. Yeah, this is a slaughter, but it was because Japan's... People said the Japan ban list was a slaughter, but it wasn't enough. That's what's crazy. Banned. I can't believe Kitkallos is banned in both games. It just makes me think, what the heck's going to happen in Master Duel? Is it inevitable that it's going to be banned? Should you even invest in the deck at that point? I don't even know. And I think that's going to be the end of this video. All right, don't forget about the giveaway, and I'm going to start recording leaks right now. Hopefully I was coherent enough within this video. Appreciate you all. We are out.